seasons in program history, the Grizz are ready to hit the ice with a talented group of returning players and exciting new recruits. This season, make sure you're there for every goal, hit, and Grizz Cat Rivalry Showdown. Grizz hockey season tickets are on sale now with packages starting at just $124 for all 14 home games. Grizz Hockey, an incredible atmosphere and a season you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at grizzhockey.com. Grizz Hockey, pack the rink, go Grizz.
ESPN Radio for Western Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula.
All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
Where is the coffee?
Transfer!
Do you want me to fill you up? Please, please, to the top, to the top, to the top. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, tell me again, why do you do this show?
For the stats.
I thought it was for the love.
Can we please just do the radio show?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Welcome to Tootell Nuanez. Now broadcasting live from the Grizzly Disposal Studios. Say hello to E.B. Craney award-winning sports broadcasters Ryan Tootell and Colter Nuanez.
Hello, Montana. Oh, Coulter, we just get a party again on a weekday morning like this?
Every day until the day you retire, which is never.
I've retired 8-10 times. I'm looking for number 11.
In fact, this is the only guy that can live not only in America, but in Missoula, Montana, without a job for multiple years at a time, and also have a great and vibrant, loving family.
See, here's the thing.
It's amazing.
You keep telling people falsely that I have not had a job.
Well, you're right.
I've
You've had
got
a couple.
Lots of them. Lots of jobs. Constantly working.
You did have no job for a while, though, and that's impressive.
Yeah. Well,
I'm jealous. I am in no way doing anything but just worshiping at the.
I get
the non-job that you were able to work.
Hey,
not
the
work for
non-job is feeding 4 kids. That's
Indeed.
no small task. Hey, it's Tootell Nuanez. It is 102.9 ESPN Radio. We are back. Show number 2.
Yeah.
Locked and loaded. Thrilled to be with you here on a Tuesday morning. The phone number, 406-888-1029. 406-888-1029. Put that in your phones. Keep that with you at all times. It is the most important number after 911 and whatever your mom's number is. Those are the 3 that you got to have. Always on hand. Let's take a look at what we got today. A ton of stuff to get to. Yesterday, press conference day for game week across the state of Montana. So we are going to hear from both head coaches at Montana and Montana State, several of the players from both schools as well, and then we are going to take those sound bites and sort of focus in now on the first and upcoming game, the first games of the season that are upcoming this week. We talked a little bit yesterday about it, but we're going to really drill down now into kind of prepping for the Southern Utah and Utah Tech football games, respectively, that Montana and Montana State will be in this week. We also are going to get into a little NFL. We're going to do a little reality check across the NFL. We're going to do a little blind side here, asking each other some questions. Do you have your blind side question ready, Colton?
I do.
I don't know if I believe you. I mean, you came in here, you gave me an ultimatum. I've got my ultimatums for you today, okay? And the first ultimatum you gave me is the anti-ultimatum that I'm going to give you. So we're going to figure out who's who here today.
Can't wait.
I hope it doesn't come down to an arm wrestling contest.
Well, no, you don't want that.
No, I do not want that. I am not going to sit here and pretend like I want any of that. So anyway, that's what we got in the show today. Looking forward to everything we got to get to. So let's jump right into it. It is time for our first look. This one with the Montana Grizzlies. Okay, here we go. Oh, Hayden's pointing at the thing because the bit's still running. Okay.
First look at the Grizz.
You know, Hayden, you can get on the microphone and explain to the people exactly why they had another pregnant pause in there, which I am not, by the way, blaming you for. This was not your fault. This was, if anything, my fault. I have a long intro because I want to be able to play as much Black Keys as I can every morning.
Indeed.
You know, I
Have we talked to them yet? Have we called them?
The Black Keys?
Yeah. Do they know that we're using the music?
I thought we might need to do more than just 2 shows before we'd have enough traction to be like, hey, you guys want to come on? So you want to do a live?
I've been meaning to tell you this. I totally forgot this. The national ESPN radio people stole our bit some 8 years later. On Fridays, they're playing Rebecca Black.
Is it?
And making fun of Rebecca Black.
First of all, let's be clear. We did not make fun of Rebecca Black.
Indeed.
We had Rebecca Black on this show
in fact,
in a full, legitimate, honest interview.
Yeah, in fact, Tommy Evans, our former producer, told Rebecca Black that we had been making fun of her, so she came on the show ready to go, and then we did nothing but tell her how great we thought her song was.
He did not tell her that we were making fun of her. He was a card-carrying member of the Rebecca Black fan club.
Indeed.
Maybe still is. I don't know.
So those that don't know, Rebecca Black was a teenage, how do you say, like one-hit wonder music phenomenon, right? Her parents bought her for her birthday a recording session in a studio.
Yeah.
And she did a very how do you say?
It's a song that went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and she did this very sophomoric song called Friday, and it's very, I mean, she's like a 12 or 13-year-old girl at the time that she's doing this.
How many people do you think know this song that are listening?
I don't know.
I'll bet
some,
half.
Yeah, I bet some. Yeah, certainly people do.
I bet there's a lot of people who don't know what we're talking about, and if they go back and listen, they'll be like,
right.
So
then it became a Tootell and Tucker tradition to play Rebecca Black Friday on Fridays, and then when I joined the show, then that also became a thing, and we kept it going. But now here we are. It's been years and years since that happened, since Rebecca Black came on the show. They were doing the same bit on ESPN National. It's like, we already did this. They stole this from Tootell Nuanez.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. It's about time the higher-ups in Bristol started to figure out that this is the creative engine of the whole doggone operation.
I always tell Samuel Kim, one of our good buddies and contributor to ESPN Radio, there is no such thing as a good new idea. All ideas are stolen. So just repeat and rinse and do whatever else everybody else is doing. Just do it better. Do it your way.
Speaking of repeat and rinse, play the soundbite again, Hayden. So this time we can get this, because we put this one. I will say it's a little anticlimactic. I mean, this one here. I mean, we're trying to get stuff done. All right, go ahead.
He's dragging
it's
it.
Your first look. First look at the Grizz.
Oh. What a terrifying grizzly bear.
Man.
Huh? We feel good about that. Let's get our first look at the Grizzlies, Coulter. Yesterday, you and I rolled on down to the University of Montana, got in a room with Coach BK, Bobby Kennedy, giving his first game week press conference. He was joined, obviously, by Kay Eliaya. I'm still working on getting this whole thing, and Peyton Wing as well. So we'll hear from a couple of guys. But first of all, let's start with Bobby Kennedy. But before we play the sort of sound here, which we'll hear like a little extended version of, is there anything you want to say by way of just kind of setting the stage here for this?
Well, I'm going to have to adjust my personal Monday schedule, because in previous years, you go to down to campus for a Monday press conference. It's supposed to start at 2. It starts at 1:58, and Bobby Houck walks out the door at 2:10.
Yeah,
because he had explicitly a special teams meeting in the Champions Center, which is a 5-minute walk away, scheduled at 2:15. So there was no press conference that was going later than 2:12.
That's right.
And he's standing up and walking out, and usually he would start a couple minutes early, because that's how he is. He's a military general, and that's, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. And so, I always used to contemplate, is it actually even worth it to come down here and ask my two? Of course it is, but to get 12 minutes of sound when it's a 20-minute drive across town,
you're risking another campus parking ticket.
Right. But now, yesterday, it was between Bobby Kennedy and the players, and then as well Kent Haslam talking about the new jersey patches for the University of Montana, and then into Allison Lawrence and volleyball. I was in the press conference room for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
I had a 3 o'clock meeting, which I thought I was going to be easily half an hour early for it. Instead, I'm calling them and saying, hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to be there at like 3:01. Sorry, this is just a new procedure. But anyways, I got to my meeting with my good friends at Blackfoot, and they were laughing, because they're big football fans. And, our good buddy Chad, who's one of the main guys there, he's like, yeah, dude, this is a learning experience for you. This is new. You got to schedule your meetings at 3:30 now because this is actually going to take a formative hour. So anyways, the point is to set this up besides my schedule,
which is the most pressing part for all of us.
But it is revealing to just how much more welcoming this was.
Yeah.
Every single person in the media corps got the mic, got to ask multiple questions, and got good answers to the questions. So I thought it was, I don't know if it was like an incredibly informative press conference in terms of like the information coming out of it, but the vibes certainly way different, and just the talk of positivity and excitement and guys being good players and all these different things it's just objectively different than what we've had the last 8 years at Montana.
All right, here you go. A little bit from Bobby Kennedy from the press conference yesterday talking about Southern Utah and the first game ever he will coach as the head coach of a football team. Here we go. Okay. Coulter.
Hey.
Okay, first ultimatum. Okay. We are getting together. Every morning, we're going to go. What's a nice diner that's open at 6 in the morning?
Oh, man, this is not happening.
What's a nice place that we can get you?
Open?
What do you want? You want a breakfast hash? You want some kind of do you want a stack of pancakes? What are you going to go for in the morning?
Man,
because we are going to get together to ensure that all of the sound is available. Now, Hayden says it's not there. He's searching frantically for it at the back. So we will get this here in just a minute to go on for you. But when you talked about the things that are not necessarily the information that didn't exactly come out in terms of talking about the game, what were you looking for in terms of more specifics of analysis? Because we talked about this before. I think the first game of any college football season is so difficult. Because what do you do? I mean, you can prep yourself, but how do you can look back at past seasons, but the influx, which Coach Kennedy did talk about, of NIL and transfer guys, there's always going to be players and schemes and things that are just different that you are not going to be able to be aware of and prepare for. So what is the stuff when it comes to analyzing the games that you're looking for here that you did not get?
Well, it's also it's what makes like the whole notion of coaching your team and preparing your team based on the premise of we do what we do. Like we'll adjust within the game to what we're seeing, but we're not gonna like over prepare. Like this is what Montana State does so well. They run what they run. Like their defense is what they run.
Yeah.
And sure, again, within the scope of a game, if there's a new wrinkle, a new fold,
okay,
they adjust.
Okay.
But when baseline preparing, that's what they do. They run the 4-2-5 base. It's keep everything in front of you. It's the shell. It's just what like the Houston Texans have run to such great success. 49ers ran it for a long time as well. So I think that style of coaching is important, and even more important this day and age, because it is, especially early in the season. You can watch as much Southern Utah film as you want, but half the stuff they're running last year might not be the stuff they're running this year, because they might have 45 new guys on the roster, which is sort of how every college football team is going. The thing I probably wanted more out of yesterday is just a little bit more clarity into, like, we know who the guys are going to be in terms of the guys that are solidified. Like, we know quarterback, running back, we know the linebackers, but I have no idea who they're going to roll out there as the defensive backs.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like? Yeah. What were the position battles like? What did it allow those guys to rise up? And maybe that is a tactical, schematic advantage for Montana. And certainly we will know in full force come Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening in Missoula.
Okay. Well, I'm told now that we have it, so let's play it. Let's hear from Coach Bobby Kennedy.
Looking forward to Southern Utah. Obviously, we're excited to open up the season in Washington Grizzly Stadium against a really good opponent. Opponent that's back in our league, that's had really good success in the past. I know Coach Fitzgerald has done a great job with that program. A couple years ago, they beat UTEP, an FBS opponent. They finished really strong last year, so it'll be a good test for us, and we're excited about that test.
Coach, we're like 5 days away from you head coaching your first football game. When you think about that, how's that feel? How do you feel like you're doing all that good stuff?
Yeah, excited. I mean, obviously, a million things when you're new in this role goes through your mind, but I'm really comfortable with our staff and comfortable with our players. I feel like we have a great staff and guys that have been through a bunch of battles before, but also our players. The two guys sitting next to me are veteran players that were elected captain. We don't have Solo here today, but I know he's going to make an appearance sometime. He's so big that we can, it would be me and him, so that would take up this whole table. But yeah, it's going to be surreal for me. But also, I'm gonna enjoy the moment, and I've been preparing for this for a long time. Didn't know if it was ever gonna come, but thanks to Ken Haslam and our athletic department and Clay Christian and our new president, they thought I was the guy to lead this team. So looking forward to it. It's not about me; it's about Montana. It's about our team. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that the guys from spring ball really, since I was named head coach, then through spring ball, obviously we didn't have a guy that jumped in the portal. They showed great confidence in this program and in our staff, and I think we're all excited. We're all excited to, like Kaylee said, the hard work that these guys put in, I really admire them for it, because they've been a great group, and we have good leadership on this team. I've said this before, our success will be determined on how we continue to come together, how we bond as a team, how we look out for each other as a team, and these guys have done that thus far. So it's really exciting for me, and really an honor to coach these guys, because we have great young men in this program.
Coach, we're kind of looking at Delane Fitzgerald's teams at Southern Utah. It seems like they can run the ball really well offensively. They've found some success the last few years. What's it like, I guess, game planning for a team that has proven to have consistently good guys who run the ball and seem to have a lot of success in that realm?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the points. Like Southern Utah, they have been known to run the ball not only with the running backs but with their quarterback, right? And so that's our charge, to hopefully stop that rushing attack. But until you get in it, right, you don't know how things are going to go. But I have confidence in our defense. I have confidence in Eric Sanders. But no, they've been an excellent team running the football. They're inside, outside zone. Then also their quarterback runs. They're tough to defend, and then they'll do some play action and try to hit you over the top. And so we've got to have good eyes. Got to read our keys. Got to be stout up front. But like I said, we're not a finished product, but I like where we are, and it's going to be a great test. Coach Fitzgerald, he's a heck of a coach. You look at what he's done in the past, not only at Southern Utah, but also, the places that he's been before. Like, he's been known to be a program builder, and he's done a great job.
Coach, I'm curious just again about preparation for the game. I've always felt week one in college football is a very unique challenge, even with a coach who's been there 5 years like Coach Fitzgerald. You can dig into that, but how much leeway is there in your prep for this particular week, and do you have a plan B, plan C, and alternatives that you can go to if needed?
Yeah, what you have to do, I think, in game planning, part of the thing with NIL, right, there's this infusion of new players, and if they're like most good coaches, which I know they are, they're going to have new wrinkles, right? So hopefully you've prepared well enough through film study that you can adjust to maybe some of the wrinkles that they throw at you. But also, like I said before, I'm really confident in our staff. Our staff has always done a great job of making game adjustments, especially on the offensive side. Now we have a new defensive staff, right? But I've got great confidence in Eric Sanders and his staff that he's going to be able to make those adjustments. And the great thing about the people that we have surrounding us, not only the players but also the coaches, is that they've got a bunch of games under their belts, maybe not here, but at other places. And there's a reason why they're at Montana, because they're good coaches and that they can make those adjustments.
There you go, Bobby Kennedy from the press conference yesterday. Looking forward to Southern Utah Saturday night at Washington Grizzly Stadium. It is Tootell Nuanez, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Coulter, I'm interested in this because Coach Sanders is the defensive coordinator, Coach P is the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
They're both going to be the play callers for their respective sides of the ball for the Grizzlies. When it comes to Coach Kennedy in his role in game, especially for his first game, you know, you do all this prep for months and months and then weeks of fall camp, and you try and get all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted, and you think you've got it all in place and you know what you're going to do, and then the ball is in the air and you got to go do it, and you got to go do it right now in real time. And I'm wondering what you think about his role in that place. Like, Pease and Sanders both have done this. Obviously, Coach Pease for a very long time and will be very, very comfortable rolling out there and running that offense. But what do you think BK is going to be up to, and what should he be up to through the course of this game Saturday night?
Well, one thing I've been wanting to ask him, and certainly the next time we get him, I will ask him this, and that's about his position on the sideline last year. We had, if you look at all the pictures we took at Skyline Sports last year of Bobby Hauck, Bobby Kennedy is standing right next to him or directly behind him in like 95% of the pictures. So is that just part of how Bobby Kennedy operates, as a guy that just stands next to the head coach because he wants to be, one degree away from the man running the show? Or was he sort of being mentored by Coach Hauck in that capacity? Like, what's the reason for that? Or is it just a coincidence? Is that just like kind of where he was at on the sideline and guys were running off, and who knows? I mean, it could be as simple as many of the guys that were making the biggest plays for the Grizz last year were the receivers. So, but Coach Hauck's getting them right there to give them a high five, and Bobby Kennedy's right there because that's just where they're coming off the field. I don't know. I'd love to ask him about that. But in terms of your question, I don't really know.
I mean, you're managing clock. You're making sure you're managing officials.
Yep.
Right. I'm sure talking to individual players and doing that. But I'm wondering, how much input, like a lot of head coaches always have veto power for their team. Yeah. We're not running this play. We're running this play.
Right.
Or, hey, this has got to be a run, period. Figure it out. We're not going to know this ahead of time. I don't think that Coach Kennedy would know this right now.
Totally.
But I'm interested in that interface.
Yeah.
Like how much of that is going to be at play here with him and in this football game and throughout the season. And I think that, again, that's only stuff that you can know and work into. He said yesterday, a mantra we've heard a lot: you don't get better at playing football except by playing football.
Yeah,
well, guess what? You probably don't get better at coaching football, head coaching football, till you're head coaching football, right?
Yeah, for sure. And how much has he rehearsed this in his own mind? How much has he gone through all that? Yeah, I do think that one thing I've heard around Grizz Nation is the narrative that the Grizz are going to have a chance to be so much better on offense because Bobby Hauck won't be meddling in the offense. And I want to be completely fair about this. Coach Hauck certainly had all sorts of different times where you've heard all these stories, and also is very clear within the way that the game was being called that he was having the final say what they're doing on offense, and that was Bobby Ball, and that's why a lot of times they would get conservative and try to milk the clock and get out with wins. That said, I will say the other thing that was so stark about all the photos that we took of Bobby Hauck last year was that the microphone on the headset was almost always up.
Well, and the offense last year was superb.
I mean, they averaged 42 points a game. So I don't really, they're the number one offense in the country in terms of passing yardage, positive plays, yards per play, and points per game. So pretty hard to do much better.
Well, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of the Pease Hauck conversations, of saying, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
No, this is what we're going to do. No, this is what we're going to do.
So I'm really interested to see how much Bobby Kennedy will actually empower his coaches. He's talked extensively about how that's going to be part of his DNA, how he wants Brent Pease to have autonomy in the offense. He wants Eric Sanders to have autonomy in the defense. So, there's a lot of different ways to do this, right? I mean, Bobby Kennedy might just be the hype man on the sidelines and just doing a very minimal amount of actual game management.
Well, an interesting part of this to me, too, is taking it's not really a 10,000-foot view. Let's say it's a 500-foot view because Coach Kennedy's now been the head coach of the Montana Grizzlies for, what are we at? 6 months?
Not even. Yeah, I mean, I guess February, the first Wednesday of February was National Signing Day.
Yes.
So this is like going
7 months.
Next Wednesday will be the 7-month mark. Yes.
We have very well chronicled, and many have, the change of feel, of orientation, of openness, whatever you want to call it, that Coach Kennedy has sort of instituted at the University of Montana. Mm-hmm. And it has been exceedingly well received.
Indeed.
And that conjoined with the talent that we know is returning to the University of Montana, and the expectations that are there, not to mention, a preseason number 2 in the nation ranking, and the excitement, as we know, as it is many football seasons, but I think even more this season than years prior, is through the roof. Mm-hmm. And I think even in a press conference like this, which we just heard from Coach Kennedy, being so forthcoming about his own psyche and psychology and emotion and expected emotion going into the game. I mean, we have not heard that stuff from a head coach in a very long time at the University of Montana, and I think it is incredibly welcome, and I think people really gravitate towards that, and I think it's real, and I personally think it's amazing. But you gotta win, baby.
That's right.
And if you go out there and it is the flattest of the flat, from a football standpoint.
That's right.
I'm not going to say all the good vibes go away. We've talked about this before. We talked about this on the show even just yesterday. But the goodwill has been sown. The embracing of the community and vice versa is in full force in Missoula right now and around people who are fans and followers of Grizz football. But this is what you're here for now.
That's right.
What do you think I'm not asking necessarily what you think is going to happen in the game. We will get to that later on this week. But the level of pressure that exists.
The level of pressure is enormous. It's enormous. Who is a nicer, more likable, more uniting guy than Joe Glenn? Pretty much nobody.
Just about nobody, yeah.
Joe Glenn lost his first game at the University of Montana, and he woke up the next morning with for sale signs littering his yard.
Yeah.
Joe Glenn then went on to lose, I think, 3 more games in the next 3 years. Yeah. Ran the table twice and lost one national championship game, won one national championship game.
Yeah.
Won 39 games in 3 years. You can't really do much better than that. But the first one, there was a loss.
Yeah.
And that increased the pressure big time. So, that's the thing, too. We can talk all we want. We blew in the face about all the different shortcomings, particularly in the forward-facing part of managing a football program of Bobby Hauck.
That's right.
He got an incredible amount of grace from the vast majority of the fan base. Why? Because he won 83% of his games over a 16-year sample size. He won 150-something games at Montana.
Yeah.
You win 10, 11, 12, 13 games year in and year out. It gives you a lot more leash to kind of act however you want.
It does. It's also any program, and we've seen this at the University of Montana in multiple sports, and we've seen it obviously all over the place nationally in all the sports. Any program can be as high and as great as it wants to be, and if it's handled and managed in the wrong way, it can take a nosedive in a big hurry. That said, the program and the culture at the University of Montana when it comes to football seems to me to set a pretty high floor. I mean, the talent and the people and the players that you got coming through here allow you have all the advantages. And I think that adds to the pressure, right? But then it also adds to the possibility of being really good.
It does. But the pressure comes from the fact that outwardly, everybody is like, we wish we were Montana.
Yeah.
And it's not always that easy. It's not always just about the outward-facing stuff. But it does. It's a huge stepping stone. It's a huge start.
It is. Well, we heard from Bobby Kennedy as the Grizzlies get ready for Southern Utah. After the break, we're going to hear from Coach Brent Vigen talking about his football team as they get ready to go on the road and take on Utah Tech, another Big Sky conference opener. We'll get to that in just a moment. Hey, if hunting is your passion, you already know good gear can make all the difference. And Bob Ward's has all the brands Montana hunters trust. Vortex Optics, Sitka, King Camo, Marsupial Gear. That's the one where they climb into the pouch. You can carry your hunting partner with you right on the front pack. It's great. Marsupial Gear. I love it. Stone Glacier and more. Packs, optics, camouflage, boots, clothing, camping gear, and everything you need for the backcountry at the best prices. Plus, when you shop Bob Ward's, you're supporting a Montana business that's been outfitting outdoor adventurers since 1917. Come through the doors and get ready to fill your tags and your freezer. Bob Ward's, sports and outdoors, Montana style.
Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
In honor of our Green Nation's 250th anniversary, Mattress Firm is having its biggest 4th of July sale ever. The entire lineup of top-rated mattress brands are on sale with prices starting at $149 up to top-of-the-line mattresses with lifetime warranties. Get the sleep you deserve with payments starting at $39 a month. Mattress Firm has pillows, sheets, adjustable bases, all on sale too during their biggest 4th of July sale ever. Locally owned and nationally known Mattress Firm.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
The Montana Grizzlies are taking a different approach to one of college football's newest revenue opportunities. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. Grizzly Athletics and the University of Montana Foundation announced Monday a partnership that will make the foundation the first official jersey patch partner in Montana football history. Instead of selling that space to a corporate sponsor, every Montana player will wear a For Montana patch during the 2026 season. The patch is designed to raise awareness for the UM Foundation's New for Montana Scholarship Initiative, which aims to expand scholarship opportunities for Montana resident students. The patch will make its debut Saturday when the Grizzlies open the season against Southern Utah at Washington Grizzly Stadium. First-year Montana head coach Bobby Kennedy called the initiative bigger than athletics, saying it represents an opportunity for Grizzly Athletics to support students who will become Montana's future leaders and community builders. The partnership is historic on multiple fronts and marks the first time the University of Montana, the UM Foundation, and Grizzly Athletics have joined forces to launch a major scholarship initiative focused exclusively on Montana residents. It's also the first branded jersey patch in both Montana football and Big Sky Conference history. The NCAA approved Division I schools adding commercial logos or patches to uniforms earlier this year, and many programs have used the new space for corporate sponsorships. An anonymous donor provided a gift to athletics to secure the jersey patch location, allowing the Grizz to use one of college football's newest advertising platforms to promote scholarships.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club. Tootell Nuanez on 102.9 ESPN Radio for Missoula.
You see, this is what I wanted the people to hear.
Delightful. I don't even know who this is. Educate me.
It's the Blue Stones.
Very good.
You know, one of those guitar and drum duo type of outfits.
Sure.
And they're fine, but they sing a song called Shaking Off the Rust.
Here it is.
I got a lot of rust built up here. Coulter.
You're a rusty guy.
It's been a long time sitting here remembering that prep is not allowed, trying to figure out how to get this whole machine off the ground, and it feels so good.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to have you back. Did you know that I'm blind out of my right eye? Like peripherally? So switching seats, I actually cannot see you. Like when you lunged at me, I was frightened because I didn't see you until you actually hit me.
I told your wife, it's Tootell Nuanez, 102.9 ESPN Radio. We might get to coach Vegan, the Montana State Bobcats, in this segment, but as it's starting out, it seems unlikely. We'll see what happens. I was talking with your wife, and I said the hardest that I've ever been punched was by you.
Oh, that's good.
We were sitting, I think that it was Reno, but it could have been Boise. You'll know. Mm-hmm. But we were front row, courtside to the number one Sports Center top play of the day, which was Jordan Davis.
Oh, man.
Going up top. And he's what, 6'1"?
2. Yeah. I mean, tall, just point guard.
Down the lane, eject button over Fabian Krislovic.
The man.
And just brought the hammer. And I still can't feel my fingers because you just went full, immediate, right cross into my shoulder as hard as you could, knocked me into the guy next to me, and it was the right reaction because it was a remarkable, like that was one where you go, oh, wow, I just saw something special right there.
And the Grizz ended up winning that all-time classic game,
they did.
Which was one of the great games we've ever covered, and that was...
I can't think of one better.
We sometimes forget about that game when it's not the championship game. Like the Grizz went on to then win the championship and go to the NCAA tournament that year.
The championship game was one of the most epic games.
Awesome.
This is the greatest tournament run in the history of the Big Sky Conference.
Yes, I miss Reno big time, man. I can't wait to be going. I'm going back to Reno. I'm making my foray. First time in 10 years going back to Reno in a couple weeks.
What are you going to Reno for?
Of course, dude.
For the
Montana State at Nevada. There is no better video that you can get in the world than whatever Choate says as the result of that game. Nevada wins, Choate's going to be on fire. Nevada loses, he's going to light the whole place on fire. Yeah. So, I told my brother, I said, hey, this is worth the money to go down here and cover this for this show, for all the enterprises, because Choate's sound bites before, during, and after this game are going to just be
and also kiss. You're getting, you get to traffic all your old spots down there in Reno.
Can't wait. Silver Legacy, Millie's 24-hour diner. Let's go. Can't wait. I know the other hardest I ever hit you.
Yeah, what's the other hardest?
The other one I didn't even hit you. I fell out of my chair with such force that I knocked the whole press row over. The Miracle in Missoula, the fumble on the goal line, 2018 Cat Grizz game. Yeah. When, a lot of guys. I can't even give one guy credit. Tucker Yates, Grant Collins, Braden Conkle, Derek Marks, they all got their hands in the cookie jar, and the ball is out, and the Bobcats somehow win this unbelievable comeback. I know that's a huge salt in the wound for Grizz fans, but that was also one where, I mean, you couldn't help but have a physical, visceral reaction when that happened. I can't believe that happened.
Can't believe that happened. Okay, well, now that we've cleared all that out, let's take a look at the Montana State Bobcats for the first time this week. It's our first look at MSU.
It's your first look. First look at the Cats.
What do we think? The Bobcat sound or the Grizz sound there? They're both...
You know I have really unpopular opinions about all this.
Yeah, you have unpopular opinions about absolutely everything.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's why you're here.
I love Michael Jackson.
What's your most... Okay, I was going to ask you what's your most popular
I love the Rolling Stones. No, I think that
you have sided with the majority there.
I like the Grizz. Yeah. I like the Grizz sounder just a little bit more. Just because, here's the thing. I have a pretty good idea of what a Grizz might sound like. I'm unsure of what a Bobcat might sound like.
Here's what I think we can say for sure. Neither of these were taken from nature.
Well, indeed.
You know?
The other thing is, I covered the Cats now for 16 years. There was a moment in time where the Cats were getting like 30 first downs a game. And when they had like Dakota Prukop and Denarius McGee, and they were like just rolling, and they're still really good on offense, but they were like the offensive team of the country, them in Eastern Washington. And so you'd sit at Bobcat Stadium and watch the Cats roll up 55 points and 32 first downs, and first down, Bobcats.
Yeah.
By the time it's done, you're like, man, I've heard this 40 times today.
It's actually a shame they're so good on offense because I am over this noise.
And at that moment in time, they were so good on offense and so bad at defense, too. Right. So I used to write the game stories would be like 2,000 words long just to get in the touchdowns. Like when it was 52-51, Eastern Washington wins in Bozeman. I'm like, okay, by the time we even just write about the touchdowns, this story is going to be 4 pages long.
Hey, let's hear from Coach Brent Vigen, shall we? This is him in his press conference yesterday. Obviously, again, game week, but the first time, happily for him and his football team as the defending national champions, talking about getting ready for their trip to Utah to take on Utah Tech.
You mentioned those games against the Big Sky teams last year in the Davis game, and Tarleton I know was close for a little bit as well. Anything on film you saw specifically in any of those games that maybe allowed them to have some success?
Well, they got talent, and I think looking back at our game down there last time, they posed some challenge. You could just see them getting better and better. That's watching them on film leading into our 23 matchup, because they had played some teams in our league, and then even the difference from 23 to 24 for them. And Coach Anderson has been around there for a while, and he's got a great track record. His time at Stanford, they had an excellent run, and I know this is his mindset that they're going to continue to grow this thing. He's a defensive coach. Do it the right way as far as combining a great defense with the ability to do enough on offense. And I know these last couple of years they've gave some people some real tough times, and probably last year they didn't quite get themselves over the hump. But I think you could look and recognize that they were closer than a 2-10 record would indicate. So I don't think it's anything in particular. They have good players, they have good coaches, and they're building that thing the right way.
And then last season going into Oregon, this season going to St. George, what's the difference from your perspective as the head coach getting them up for a game that you're expected to win versus Oregon?
Yeah, I think it's definitely different. I know you still have to take the opportunity for what it is, and it's our first chance to play as a 26 team. And while the test that Oregon was a really complicated one, and I thought our guys went after it. This is complicated in its own right. A game where we are favored, a team that we have played a couple times in recent years. We have so many guys returning, blah blah blah, all that stuff. We still have to go out and prove that we can play no matter who you show up to play. I guess no matter who we're facing, and that's where I do like the fact that we were down there just a couple years ago, and the place is familiar to us. The opponent is somewhat familiar to us, and the games will test you each and every week. So whether it's Utah Tech or opening against Oregon, it will be a test, and it's our first one, and we got to go down there and pass it.
Also, just the storyline of having the title defense now that you're in game week. How's kind of the mindset with the team, with you, just with that trying to.
Yeah, I think just continuing to remind them that this team is a new team. It hasn't done anything, and that's real. That's facts. We're 0-0 like everyone else. Those 14 wins from last year don't count for anything this year. Now it puts you in position to be ranked a certain way and favored and all that, but it doesn't guarantee anything. So I think that's just going to be the message. We have to go out and prove ourselves all over again with a new team week in, week out, and I think our guys have bought into that now. Ultimately those moments where it doesn't go our way, that's where we'll really get tested, and I'm certain there'll be a few of those moments for sure on any one of these Saturdays. So how do we respond? How do we look within to figure out how do we work through challenges? I think that's the exciting thing about sport. We're not, if there was guarantees we wouldn't need to play these games, and I think our guys are hungry to prove where this team is at, and try to do it all over again, I suppose, but all that's in front of us is this next game.
So there you go, Brent Vigen, head coach of the Montana State Bobcats. I thought it was interesting, Coulter, just quickly here before we get out, but he acknowledged, hey man, going to Oregon to play game one and going to Utah Tech to play game one are absolutely different, obviously venue-wise, but in turn, you'd think a lot of coaches would say, hey, first game, you got to get ready to go. It's it's all about us. We got to go get ready. He's like, no, man. Like, going to Oregon is a very complicated and hard thing to do. Going to Utah Tech gives its own complications as well, but they're completely different. They're really not football-oriented. I'm adding that. Let me be clear. That's my parenthetical statement. But it is to acknowledge that and go, hey, we have to be ready to go. Last year means nothing, but we got to essentially find the juice within ourselves to be who we are this season. I thought was telling and the right way to go.
Well, so this is the extension and the repurposing of it. Now it's becoming it's the North Dakota State thing that's now becoming the Montana State thing, and that is we play to a standard. If we play to our standard and we live up to our standard, we will beat everybody that we play. Yeah. And if by chance the team that we're playing is Oregon and we play to our standard and we lose 59-13, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Then we play up to our standard.
Right.
And if the Cats play up to their standard, I mean, they've won 20. They've got 29-3 the last 2 years by playing up to their standard. And, and really the only teams they've lost to are North Dakota State in the national championship game, South Dakota State last year at home, Oregon, and that's it.
Right.
So you basically play to your standard. You're going to beat everybody on your schedule except for maybe the few teams that come along the way that are as good or better than you are.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, it is Tootell Nuanez. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, we'll come back. We'll hear from Kale'i Ayat. He spoke briefly, a few words, but we'll hear a little bit from him as well. Coulter, though, before we go, tell these people about some collectibles that they can get down there at Zootown Sports Cards.
Well, it's one of my favorite places to go because even if you're not buying, you can always just look. Like, I love just going and just shooting the breeze with them, talking baseball while looking at the basketball cards. Mm-hmm. Like, they got them all organized so you can thumb through the 90s and 2000s. You're like, oh, there's a Shaq, there's a Charles Barkley. Like, oh, maybe I'll spend $3 on that, $5 on this one. It's an awesome place, whether you're starting your collection or getting back into your collection or just making your collection thrive. Head on down to Zootown Sports Cards on Stevens, in the Stevens Center. And Zootown Sports Cards, one of our loyal friends here at ESPN Radio.
Kale'i Ayat on the other side.
In honor of our great nation's 250th anniversary, Mattress Firm is having its biggest 4th of July sale ever. Save up to $1,000 off top-rated Tempur-Pedic, or save hundreds off Purple mattresses and premium adjustable bases. Save up to 50% on top-of-the-line mattresses, all backed by their 365-day guarantee. See store for details. It's their biggest 4th of July sale ever at your locally owned and nationally known Mattress Firm.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
On 102.9 ESPN Radio for Missoula.
Welcome back. Tootell Nuanez on your radios, on your YouTubes, on your Twitches.
We're twitching. Your kids into that yet?
Absolutely not.
Watch. This is like the Twitch is like for where the gamers watch each other game.
No,
it's like the old line, like you watch somebody else play video games, and then someone says, "Well, you watch other people play football."
I mean, I'm not even going to argue against that. I'm just going to answer your original question. No, for my children. My daughter had her 14th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
God bless her. We went to her favorite bookstore and bought them all. And she will be in her room, happy as a clam until then. Kai, on the other hand, got into fishing this summer.
Whoa.
Wakes up, goes fishing, watches fishing videos on YouTube now.
Hey.
I'm like, dude, you can do way worse than that, man. Go ahead.
We sit there and text each other while watching golf. Like, multiple days of our lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really can't say anything about this.
Are you guys aware of how many professional athletes stream sporting or video games?
I'm actually not surprised by that either.
No.
Coulter, your buddy Kyler Murray does a lot of it.
Well,
Cam Scadaboo, he does a lot of that as well. Juju Smith-Schuster, Jamar Chase, a bunch of guys actually Twitch stream.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, we're twitching too, although I'm not. I didn't know that I was, but now I'm told that I am. So here we are. For all of you gamers, I mean, drink it in. It is Tootell Nuanez. Coulter, we just wanted to kind of round out a little bit more getting ready for week one, which is amazing that we're already here doing this. And just here briefly, because you don't really hear extended sound anyway from Kaylee Iayat. He's a man of few words, but I think obviously a leader, elected a captain, all of that kind of stuff. Let's hear from him real quick. He was asked just about playing in a game that is going to be his head coach's first game as the head coach and what that's like. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to make him look good on Saturday. I mean, Coach BK is a great coach, so I think just everything that he instills in us, we're trying to show it on the field.
So there you go. And, I mean, what a great line, right? Just trying to make him look good. And I think that is telling about the orientation. I mean, players are going to get up there generally, and you're always going to say something nice about the person next to you, unless it's you and me,
right?
Okay, but in that setting, it was like, hey, man, they really are enjoying this so far, and again, hopefully it translates on the field. But great to hear.
It's really interesting to me. You look at Montana's 4 captains, right? Yeah. Peyton Wing is an affable guy, and he came on the show this summer to help promote his camp, and it was awesome. I mean, he's telling stories, and it's like a 17-minute long interview. It's great. Solomon Tuliaupupu is a very matter of fact, to the point, sort of stoic guy. Eli Gilman, I mean, he's sneaky funny. Yeah. But he doesn't say very much. And Ayat, he's a two sentence guy when you ask him a question. Yeah. And I just think it's interesting that these guys. We were sitting at the Big Sky Kickoff, and one of the most fun parts about the Big Sky Kickoff is watching the interminglings of the players and the coaches in a more relaxed setting. You're at the casino, everybody's playing some cards, it's fun. And I was talking to a couple coaches who shall remain nameless, but they were asking me, they're like, everything I've seen and heard from Gilman this week, he's just so quiet and humble. But then you watch him on the field, and he's flexing on everybody. He's doing the home run celebration. They're like, so which one is it? And I'm like, no, really, how he is that's actually how he is. Like, that's actually how he is. He has like this other persona that comes out when he scores touchdowns. But really, he's just like a very small town guy from small town Minnesota, who's just quiet, reserved. Yeah. And they were like, well, I just don't believe it. He's always talking during the games. I'm like, well, he takes off the cape, he becomes Superman. Well, puts on the cape, I guess.
I've been watching Hard Knocks, because what else is there? And to watch, in this case, the Seattle Seahawks, but it is not only peculiar to them, but particularly Coach Mike McDonald talking to them about, hey, we are the best, nicest, good dudes off the field, taking care of each other, taking care of our families, taking care of the community, fans, etc. And then when we get on the field, we are ministers of violence. And that's the game, dude. I mean, you just about got to be that, other than maybe quarterback and kicker. Other than that, you better have that in you, or else it's not going to go so good. So it's fun to see, dude. It's game week. Fired up about it. Can't wait. Speaking of, dude, now that we got college football right here on the horizon, just over the next hill, around the next bend. NFL football. Yeah. You want to talk a little league, dude?
I definitely do. Okay. I also want to give you a couple of my thoughts on the contenders, because you wanted to know about contenders in the FCS. But certainly, I want to talk plenty of NFL in hour number 2, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Actually, it's crazy. We still at September 9th, so we actually have a couple weeks worth of conversations left to be had before it actually gets going.
It's moved all the way back. People are upset about it. I'm thrilled about it. We're going to get to the NFL. We're going to get to contenders in the FCS. And I don't know. We'll see what else we have time for. Okay, Bed Bath & Beyond, we'll see what we can do. It's all coming up. Hour number 2, Tootell Nuanez after this.
Life can change in an instant. If you've been hurt in an accident, suffered from medical negligence, or are facing criminal charges, you don't have to face it alone. At Ryan Miller & Coburn, we're here to listen and fight for you. We're your neighbors, traveling across Montana to stand by your side as your link to justice. Real people, real help, right here in Montana. Ryan Miller & Coburn, your Montana attorneys.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the exceptionally designed 2024 Buick Envision with models starting at $39,795. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to DeMorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Envisions and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out.
no matter where they're going. We just make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check at Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires.
If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it.
Life's about the journey, not the destination, right? Why can't it be about both?
ESPN Radio for Western Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula. ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The Montana Grizzlies are taking a different approach to one of college football's newest revenue opportunities. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. Grizzly Athletics and the University of Montana Foundation announced Monday a partnership that will make the foundation the first official jersey patch partner in Montana football history. Instead of selling that space to a corporate sponsor, every Montana player will wear a For Montana patch during the 2026 season. The patch is designed to raise awareness for the UM Foundation's new For Montana Scholarship Initiative, which aims to expand scholarship opportunities for Montana resident students. The patch will make its debut Saturday when the Grizzlies opened the season against Southern Utah at Washington Grizzly Stadium. First-year Montana head coach Bobby Kennedy called the initiative bigger than athletics, saying it represents an opportunity for Grizzly Athletics to support students who will become Montana's future leaders and community builders. The partnership is historic on multiple fronts. It marks the first time the University of Montana, the UM Foundation, and Grizzly Athletics have joined forces to launch a major scholarship initiative focused exclusively on Montana residents. It's also the first branded jersey patch in both Montana football and Big Sky Conference history. The NCAA approved Division I schools adding commercial logos or patches to uniforms earlier this year, and many programs have used the new space for corporate sponsorships. An anonymous donor provided a gift to athletics to secure the jersey patch location, allowing the Grizz to use one of college football's newest advertising platforms to promote scholarships.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club.
Sleeping Beauty, come on, hop, hop, hop.
Where is the coffee?
You want me to fill you up?
Please, to the top. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's already hour number 2. I don't even remember hour number 1.
I don't even remember entering this room.
Well, buddy, you and I are on the same page. You ready?
Yeah, hour number 2. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Tootell Nuanez. If you missed anything in the first hour, listen to the podcast, available on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Now, broadcasting live from the Grizzly Disposal Studios, here are your hosts, Ryan Tootell and Coulter Nuanez.
Hello, Montana. It is hour number 2 of Tootell and Nuanez. Coulter, it's you and me with a live studio audience today. This is great. Only our second day back on the air. We already got fans coming in here watching us do this.
He's wearing the right shirt, too.
I'm not gonna get into that here and now.
How do you feel to be surrounded by purple people eaters?
Pretty much at home. I feel very comfortable in this because it's all irrelevant at the end of the day when Green Bay just hammers everybody like always. Speaking of, let's talk a little bit of NFL, shall we? It is hour number 2. It is Tootell Nuanez. We are very happy to be with you. The phone number here, 406-888-1029. We are going to continue to talk about this, and we're going to implement this by the end of the week. we are going to have the Tootell Nuanez answering machine up and running. We will be ready and waiting for your calls to come in and tell us really whatever's on your mind, but we will give you prompts here on the show as well.
Yes.
To talk to us. And our friends at Alpine Touch, they're going to provide you with all the seasonings you need, the great packs from them, if you make it on the air.
Yeah, so we're dreaming of this as, being that it's not just when we're on the air here. It's not just when I'm on the air from 4 to 6 in the evenings for Nuanez Now. We want you to call whenever, let's say you're watching Monday Night Football, there's a bad call. Call in. Give us your thoughts. Leave us a voicemail.
Yeah.
You didn't like Bobby Kennedy's 3rd and 7 call, in the third quarter on Saturday night. Great. Send us a message. Give us a voicemail.
Yep.
You don't like what's going on with the way Caitlin Clark's being bullied in the WNBA, whatever. I got a million ideas for you, but you guys are all smart people. You guys listen to this show. You listen to our products across the spectrum. So
unequivocally, if you're listening now, you are a genius.
So just call us, 406-888-1029, anytime, and leave us a voicemail on the Tootell Nuanez voicemail line.
Colter, we wanted to get into a little reality check on the NFL, but before we get into that, you had mentioned we got Tootell Nuanez now rolling in the morning, every weekday morning with you from 8 to 10 a.m. We also got Nuanez Now happening from 4 to 6.
Indeed.
With a ton of long-form interviews, guests, various shows within the show,
Indeed.
so to speak. And one of our good friends, somebody who's been a long time entity with us, going back before when it was Tootell Nuanez version 1.0.
Indeed.
And then Nuanez Now all the way through and continuing right on to the present will continue is Sam Herder, who has worked for Hero Sports.
Yeah, almost a decade.
And so some news happening there. Let's tell the people.
Yeah, this is actually terrible. So we've been working hand in hand with Sam, like Ryan said, all the way back to the old Tootell Nuanez days, some 5 or 6 years ago. But he has been a steady and loyal contributor on Nuanez Now, leading the show each Wednesday during the 4 o'clock hour for I think 5 years now.
And I think we can say very, very objectively, the way in which you have total command of the Big Sky Conference. He is on that level of FCS nationally. He is the definitive source of FCS football in the country.
There is nobody that's covered FCS football on a national level like Sam Herder has, period, point blank. It's not even a competition. That's why we have him on the show. And we've continued to have him on the show, and that's awesome. And that will continue at 4 p.m. all football season long, all the way through mid-January until the national championship game at the FCS level is over. Sam also in May launched a new show called the Mondak Football Show, which is a podcast / radio show that is covering, just as the name indicates, football in the state of Montana and the Dakotas. At first, it was a six school show basically with North Dakota State, but now North Dakota State's out, but it still includes coverage of Montana State, North Dakota, South Dakota, and South Dakota State. We have partnered with Sam and his partner Brad Jones. That show will also appear on our radio airwaves. We're shooting for Fridays starting out here. So that's all good news. But yesterday, BetMGM shut down Hero Sports. So Sam abruptly, less than a week before the football season starts, doesn't have his day job. So great for us that we are going to be able to continue to partner with Sam, and he will have a platform with us here at ESPN Radio as well as with his podcast. But a huge bummer for him, and certainly I feel for him. I've been talking to Sam so much, trying to get all this stuff ironed out for what we wanted to do this fall. And then yesterday he drops the bomb and says, "Hey man, just so you know, Hero Sports doesn't exist anymore." I'm like, "What?" It's like, well, you're still more than invited to come on the show here and do all the stuff with us. But it's a huge bummer. Like Sam and his wife just had a new baby, so I'm sure it's a really stressful time for them. But we'll certainly do as much as we can to continue to collaborate, continue to prop Sam up, continue to give him a platform, and move. I mean, I could do a whole other rant and an opinion about what I think about journalism entities being run by, international sports betting conglomerates, but we'll leave that at that. But either way, Sam Herder will be on this show tomorrow. We'll have the Mondak Football Show for you later this week. But feel for him, and that was certainly, that's the news of the week here in the FCS. Unfortunately, with the games coming down the pipe here this weekend.
Sam, when you've just had a new baby and you find yourself suddenly needing a job, come talk to me. It's a familiar position. I know how to handle this situation, my friend, and you are going to get through it, okay? We're going to do this together. Me and Sam Hurd are finding work to make the infant get some milk. All right, Coulter, let's talk a little NFL.
Let's do it.
We? I mean, it's that time of year. We got to break it up a little bit. Listen, this is a time of the season where everybody's talking about, well, all aspects of football. But I like to think about, everybody wants to talk about how much better everybody's gotten and like the improvements that teams have made, and certainly that's true. But not everybody can get better. Guess what? The NFL is going 500 this season again.
Indeed.
Okay?
It's like our old buddy Bo Baldwin used to always say, former Eastern Washington head coach, who was Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year multiple times. He used to always say, I like to remind everybody that half the teams in America lose the game every single Saturday.
Yes.
So if you coach for or play for or root on a team that wins 80 or 90% of the time, you should feel pretty fortunate because there's a 50% chance you're going to lose that game every single week.
That's right. And there's the other half of the country that's rooting for teams that win like 20% of the time, like, Vikings fans. All right, so Coulter, I'm getting.
Terry's coming in here.
Well, we ain't doing that. So, listen. I wanted to go through, though, and look at the teams out there and think about who is, in fact, getting better and who is getting worse, but also analyze what that means.
Sure.
Because, again, famously, right? Who would have thought, what was the over-under on Bill Parcells getting mentioned in each of the first two shows that we did here?
You love the tuna.
I mean, how can you not?
How can you not?
But you are what your record says you are. And in the NFL, man, that is a fact. Period. Point blank, period. That said, the NFL scheduling, where it puts the hardest schedules in front of the first place teams.
Sure.
So we always have these teams going from the basement to the penthouse and vice versa. Well, guess what? That's because you played the softest schedule on earth last year, and now you got a top 5 hardest schedule this year.
So this is my question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird? The NFL model is to make sure that like everybody gets a chance to be good and in the playoffs like every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird that who has been the best teams in the NFL over the last handful of years has been in sort of rotation, but who's been the worst teams has not?
Yeah.
Do you think that's weird?
No.
Like the Titans, the Browns, and the Raiders have just been stuck in just terribleness.
Well, I wouldn't put the Titans in there because the Titans recently, obviously that has been true.
In the post-Mike Vrabel era, the Titans have been stuck in nothingness.
But the post-Mike Vrabel era ain't that long, and
that's 3 years though.
Huh?
It's been 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3 years. The Browns have spent 50 years.
Well, sure.
The Raiders, 50 years. Yeah. The Jets would be another one.
The Raiders.
I would not put the Titans in that conversation.
Yeah, but what do you make of that? I think it really enforces to me how important organizational operation and organizational stability is.
Absolutely. It's. Here's the thing. I think there is great. I will say at least very good operational stability in 80%, maybe more, of the teams in the NFL. And there is operational chaos in 10 to 15%, which represents 3 or 4 teams. And this is why you get Deshaun Watson.
Yep. I was talking about this with Samuel Kim yesterday. We were texting about this. Because his good buddy and good friend of the show, Junior Bergen, is sort of going through it right now in the NFL. He got cut by San Francisco, but now he's on with New York.
Yeah.
And I was texting him that it's so striking because in the NFL there's 32 teams, right? 3 or 4 of them actually are better in terms of their organizational stability and their vision, and also just like their players that they currently have with the current structure of their salary cap and their rosters and all that. And then there really is 3 or 4 teams that are worse. But then like 22 to 24 teams are pretty much pretty equal. You might have Micah Parsons and somebody else doesn't, or you might have TJ Watt and somebody else doesn't. But like by and large, the way where you start the season, like Marty Mornweg always says, you kind of start the season at 500 if you're pretty much everybody. And then the 3 things that matter are how does your quarterback play, how healthy do you stay, and can your coach keep the team together or not? And do you have like a cohesive vision to want to win? mid and late in the season rather than falling apart. But my point about Junior Bergen is that the 49ers are one of those teams that are just are better just in terms of their operation, and that's why they have been good to great when they've been healthy.
Although a little instability in the last 48 hours.
Well,
yes.
Jesus, no kidding. But just striking to watch Junior Bergen. I watched him in person play for the 49ers and watched how far away he was from making that team because they're so good. And then now watching him in New York, and you're like, well, the Jets got to keep this guy.
Yeah.
Because the Jets are so far
away
away
from. He's better now than he was a couple years ago, too,
totally.
Right?
It's just interesting when you go from one of the three best to one of the three worst, how much better of a chance you have, which also it's not the greatest thing in the world for your career in terms of the long-term nature, but in the short term, it actually could be a boost for the former Grizz.
Tootell Nuanez, 102.9 ESPN Radio. One other thing on this note before we get into these teams, but I also think this is interesting to me. Some of the stalwart organizations that have fallen on hard times that I would not ascribe organizational chaos to at all would be the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Pittsburgh, obviously famously under Mike Tomlin, never had a losing season, but they haven't been a playoff contending team in close to a decade now. And the Giants have just been flat out bad. And these are teams, these are organizations run by administrators and owners who have had unbelievable success in the league, on the field, Super Bowl winning types of franchises. And I think there's two parts to it. One is the express goal of the NFL to create parity means that it's just so unbelievably difficult to just stay on top, that you get put in the cycle and got to go down and come back. And sometimes it's, in the case of the Jets, it's really hard to get back up. And in the case of the Steelers, sometimes you just get yourself stuck in an eddy, right? And you're just sort of there trying to paddle back out into the river a little bit. But also, even though the NFL has this, almost a standard of like, this is the way we do things in the NFL, the infusion of young GMs and coaches has really shifted the league.
Sure.
And I think some of the ownership that is of the old guard is hard-pressed to move on. And that's when you get a Harbaugh and a McCarthy as the head coaches in places who are proven, long histories, long tenures, Super Bowl winning coaches that has the game passed them by. It's hard. I'm not going to sit here and say that has in fact happened, but I also think that you are kind of what your DNA is. And these teams want to find guys who have this proven track record and feel like the risks of taking on young infusions of viewpoint, of methods, of coaching, of whatever it might be, isn't the way to go. But if you look at the success in the last 5 years in the NFL, that's who it is, man. Yeah. It's the 42 and under crowd that is out there going, no, this is how we're doing it.
Interesting. I just looked this up. I had wondered this, but I didn't confirm it till right now. But the New York Giants were owned by John Mara for decades,
forever,
and won 3 Super Bowls with that ownership. When Mr. Mara passed away in 2016, the Giants have had 1 winning season since then. Art Rooney owned the Pittsburgh Steelers for 50-something years. The duration of the history of their team, basically, until he passed away in 2018. Steelers haven't won more than 9 games. They've won 10 games twice, but they've never won more than 10 games since Mr. Rooney passed away. You also have to wonder if that's part of it, too.
It certainly is.
Marty Mornhinweg talked about this extensively on Nuanez Now. He was an unbelievable quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator in the NFL. He only got 1 head coaching job, and it was with the Detroit Lions, and it was at the basement of where Detroit was.
Yeah.
I know it's sort of bittersweet for him to see how good Detroit is now, how good they've been the last couple of years, because I think he loves Detroit. I think he loved coaching there, but also he's like, well, these guys get Penei Sewell and Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, and I had who? I had to go, John Kitna was my starting quarterback. This is not created equal. But as he said, it's the opposite factor there. Detroit had the same owner forever, and the guy didn't want to spend any money, and he didn't want to. He was just fine with being 2-14 every year. He dies, the daughter takes over, reorganized. Like you're talking about, new changing the guard, young GMs, young strategy. Boom, Detroit is one of the best teams in the NFL. Or at least they should be.
They certainly are. All right, Coulter. Let's look now then into this season. Let's peer into the what do they call those things? The crystal balls.
Indeed.
Okay. I don't do a lot of fortune telling, so it took me a minute to come up with whatever that thing is. All right. Here's who is going to be better, in my opinion. Speaking of, I think the Giants, Chiefs, Vegas, and Detroit are all going to be better than they were a year ago. And
the Giants,
some of that is
Chiefs.
A little bit of low-hanging fruit because the Giants were 4-13 a year ago.
Sure.
I actually like Brian Daboll. I think that I wouldn't have been critical if he would have been retained again, but he was already on the hot seat going into last year. They had a long losing streak in the middle there, but they clearly had this Scadaboo, Jackson Dart, Daboll connection, and it felt like there was a meld that happened there. Now, you go to Harbaugh, proven commodity, okay, but it's been a while since he's been at the top of it all.
Yes.
But just talent-wise, I mean, you look at what they have on the defensive front in the New York Giants. This is better than a 4-win team. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just so interested to see if they could be. They've had one of the best fronts in football and still been a 4-win team. And then they got rid of the two best guys on that front by Leonard Williams last year, I guess 2 years ago, getting traded to Seattle, and Dexter Lawrence this offseason getting traded to Cincinnati. So. Yeah, they still have Kayvon Thibodeau. They still have Brian Burns. They still have they still have Abdul Carter. But they had all those guys plus Dexter Lawrence, the best interior guy in the NFL, and they still won 4 games. So that should be a factor. It just all comes down to how good do you think Jackson Dart can be. Like, I think Dart's a fine NFL starting quarterback, but is he good enough to be in the top half of the league? I don't know.
Well, again,
I don't think so.
Let me say this. I'm not picking the Giants to even make the playoffs.
Sure.
But I think, can they be a 7-win team after being a 4-win team a year ago? Yeah. Yes, I do.
But
I do think that.
But then somebody in that division has to be the 4-win team. So who's he going to be? Washington? Wouldn't you lean toward Jaden Daniels over Jackson Dart?
Oh, sure. 1-1.
So then wouldn't you lean Commander? I mean, I don't know.
You know me. I've been on this one for forever.
I guess
the quarterback is the most important and most overrated position in football.
Well, sure. I guess what I'm saying though is, like, within each division, if one team's going to make a jump from a 4-win team to a 7 or 8-win team, then another team has to make a regression from the 7 or 8-win team. Like, Washington won 7 games last year.
Yeah,
they're going to have to trade places with the Giants. I just don't know if I see that happening.
Well, last year, 3 of the 4 teams were sub 500.
Yeah, right.
And the Eagles had what a lot of people considered a very mediocre year, and they were 11-6.
Sure.
I like the Eagles to win that division again, although I got to look at this again. I think there hasn't been a repeat division winner in the NFC East in 20 years.
Here's your statistic. There had not been a repeat division winner in the NFC East since 2006, when the Eagles won it 4 years in a row during that run when Marty Mornhinweg and Andy Reid were there.
Yeah.
But then it lasted a full almost 20 years, I think 18 years. But if the Eagles win this year, they'd be the 3rd in a row. Last year was their 2nd in a row.
Well, I think the Eagles are definitively better than every other team in that division still. I really do.
But that's an easy take. Yes.
I think that I think that Washington, they certainly could be on the block as being better. I'm just not sure. I did feel that 2 years ago when they went to that NFC Championship that there was a little bit of fool's gold. Now, I did not expect them to be a 5-win team last year, but the Jaden Daniels injury is not insignificant. I know that it's his non-throwing arm, but that's a terrible injury.
Well,
and also, what do they have around them? I just don't know. Who's running the football?
Well, that's
Bill Krosky? I don't know.
That's
what
been the thing that's going to compound this is it's not just been the tenuous nature of Daniels' health, but it's that the Washington Commanders have been the oldest team in the NFL for 2 years in a row.
So
and that's not going to change like that. It's only going to change when you change it and try to like rebuild everything around Jaden Daniels. But like, you're right, they don't have a lot of young bucks.
The Raiders were a 3-win team a year ago. Again, some of this is like, how much worse could you actually possibly be? But I really like the way the Raiders have gone about it. I know the Ashton Genty injury is not good, although from what I understand, it is not it's a sprain, probably a significant one, but it's not like a season-ending deal that he went down with. But I love what they've done at quarterback. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later on in our next segment. But also, it just feels like the Raiders all of a sudden found a little footing about trying to build an actual team. And
when you're as bad as they've been the last 2 years, you get the number one pick, you got to figure it out.
No,
that's what I'm talking about. The NFL. This is what we're both talking about. This is the advantages that the NFL give you.
That's right.
To try to keep you from being this bad for so long. Like, you can't have Aiden O'Connell as your quarterback. Like, you just have to have somebody that's better than that. And now they have two guys that are better than that. I don't think Kirk Cousins is that good anymore, but he's still better than Aiden O'Connell.
He certainly
is. And if he could be the bridge to Mendoza, then it is actually a smart personnel move by a organization that has not made a lot of smart moves over the last 10 years.
The Chiefs were a 6-win team a year ago. I think they're certainly going to be improved. But then the other team is the Detroit Lions, and I hate saying that inside of the NFC North. But they finished, and by the way, every team in the NFC North winning record a year ago. Ironically enough, Detroit finished fourth.
Yes, because of a tiebreaker.
They're 9-8 a year ago. And they now have one of the easiest schedules in the league. And I think that they are, I hate saying this, man, but I think they're a sleeping giant because I think people are snoring on the Detroit Lions right now, forgetting that this team was in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago and has all the dudes pretty much. There's a couple guys that have moved on, but that is still very much in place, and they are going to be a real force in the league this year, I think.
To me, the Lions comes down to one factor. Do you believe in Dan Campbell or not? Because the Lions have one of the most stacked rosters in the league. And when they had Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn calling the plays and Dan Campbell just to be the fire and brimstone, get everybody all hyped guy, they were great. They were one of the best teams in the NFL. Those coordinators depart and now are head coaches with Ben Johnson in Chicago and Aaron Glenn in New York. And Detroit looked like a mess for the middle part of last year. That said, Campbell did figure it out a little bit when he changed play callers, and they looked better down the stretch, and they finished above 500 despite all that turmoil and despite the fact they had a bunch of injuries last year. But if you have this number of great players, if Detroit does not live up to expectations again this year, now you have real questions about the ability of the head coach to be able to operate on a day-to-day basis and on an in-game basis.
I agree, but I do believe in Dan Campbell. I believe in Dan Campbell as a head coach.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be good. Here's a little stat for you before we get out. The Detroit Lions, after finishing last in the NFC North, had the third best point differential in the entire NFC and the best point differential in their division, even though they finished in 4th out of 4. We'll take a quick break because we went long. Shocker. Shocker.
Hey, but let's do one thing. Let's give some people some free stuff real quick.
Okay.
Fight night returning under the lights, Ogren Park, Allegiance Field on Saturday evening. This is the Fusion Fight League, which is one of the best MMA promotions in the Northwest. If you'd like to go to Saturday night at the fights at the Paddlehead Stadium, we got tickets for you. Give us a text, 406-888-1029. We got a whole bunch of pairs we'll be giving away here on Tootell Nuanez and on Nuanez Now. 406-888-1029. Gates open at 5 on Saturday night. Prelims start at 6 p.m. The main card starts at 7 p.m. Don't miss the most thrilling outdoor combat sports event of the summer in the heart of Missoula at the Missoula Paddlehead Stadium. Text us if you want to go to the fights on Saturday night, 406-888-1029.
We told you who's going to be better. Now we're going to tell you who's going to be worse and a little blindside. NFL style next.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
Access to Montana's great backyard is the best part of being a Grizzly. At the University of Montana, our classrooms are the mountain peaks, river valleys, and never-ending plains of the Big Sky country. We provide students with the hands-on training to protect and enjoy hunting, conservation, and stewardship. launches the careers of outdoor leaders so that they can protect our traditions and ensure they are passed down for future generations. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Why would any business let you use their product and give you 365 days of reassurance? Mattress Firm does because they believe in their mattresses. Save on top brands like Nectar, Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Serta, Stearns & Foster, and others. Mattress Firm carries $149 mattresses all the way up to the luxury Purple Rejuvenate Premier. 0% in payments as low as $39 a month, along with 365 days of reassurance. See why Mattress Firm is Montana's best place to find the sleep you deserve.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
Mountain Town Vacation Rental Management, your local partner for vacation rental success. We provide a fully customized hosting experience tailored to your needs and goals. Your home is listed on every major site, helping you maximize visibility and bookings. And our local team is available 24/7 to handle guest needs and booking inquiries. Let us take the stress out of managing your vacation home. Contact us today at mountaintownvrm.com or give us a call at 406-369-3080.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The Montana Grizzlies are taking a different approach to one of college football's newest revenue opportunities. Hello, I am Hayden Smith. Grizzly Athletics and the University of Montana Foundation announced Monday a partnership that will make the foundation the first official jersey patch partner in Montana football history. Instead of selling that space to a corporate sponsor, every Montana player will wear a For Montana patch during the 2026 season. The patch is designed to raise awareness for the UM Foundation's New for Montana Scholarship Initiative, which aims to expand scholarship opportunities for Montana resident students. The patch will make its debut Saturday when the Grizzlies open the season against Southern Utah at Washington Grizzlies Stadium. First-year Montana head coach Bobby Kennedy called the initiative bigger than athletics, saying it represents an opportunity for Grizzly Athletics to support students who will become Montana's future leaders and community builders. The partnership is historic on multiple fronts. It marks the first time the University of Montana, UM Foundation, and Grizzly Athletics have joined forces to launch a major scholarship initiative focused exclusively on Montana residents. It's also the first branded jersey patch in both Montana football and Big Sky Conference history. The NCAA approved Division I schools adding commercial logos or patches to uniforms earlier this year, and many programs have used the new space for corporate sponsorships. An anonymous donor provided a gift to athletics to secure the jersey patch location, allowing the Grizz to use one of college football's newest advertising platforms to promote scholarships.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club. Tootell Nuanez on 102.9 ESPN Radio for Missoula.
Welcome back to Tootell Nuanez, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Just in here, working together, trying to figure it out. Coulter, mystified, staring at his computer with a blank face. I don't even care what's gone wrong on your computer right now. Okay, I don't even care. What I do care about is it took us exactly 1.5 shows for you to start spewing blood in the studio.
It's just unbelievable.
It's just the most believable thing in the world. We're sitting in here in the break. You try to adjust your chair.
All I try to do is scoot closer
and
to the chair.
all I hear is screaming, here comes the finger up, punctured blood actively pouring out of you. I mean, my goodness. It's just... It's just the most it's the sun rising, it's death, taxes, and Coulter bleeding in the studio.
What movie is it from? What Ben Stiller movie? Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
but me.
Don't worry, I'm fine.
Very good. We put out the call for some text messages to get some tickets to the Fight Club that's going on. And Hayden, so we got fans, baby. Is that what we got going on over there?
I mean, you could put it that way, I guess. But we did get a pretty funny one here.
All right,
It started off really strong. This is the best morning show I've listened to in a long while. And then he follows it up with, the Golics set the bar awfully low, but congrats anyways. Well, thank you very much.
You know, I'll take that congratulations. Same congratulations that people gave my wife for marrying me. Just like, I mean, I guess it's, you know, if it makes you happy, then good for you.
Indeed.
Congrats anyways,
yeah,
Ryan.
Congrats anyways. Yeah, appreciate that. Hey, thanks for listening. Had that been a voicemail, which we haven't called for yet, but had it been that, you could have been a winner. You know, it's great stuff. We appreciate that. That's a great text message. Coulter, is everything okay over here on your computer?
Fine, yes, everything's just fine.
But your I know your finger's fine.
My finger's fine.
I mean, You're strong, man. You can handle it. But you were looking at your computer like we had real problems.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Just a totally different thing.
Okay,
so
good.
I won't even bore the people.
Good.
We're gonna have Grizz football tickets for you, and we're just dotting the T's, crossing the I's, whatever you do. Dotting the I's, crossing.
No, we dot T's. That's what we do here. We dot T's and we cross our I's. We just fall over out of our chairs. Speaking of things from the Grizzlies, we are very excited about this too, and want to offer our thanks, our gratitude to the university on this. But we are going to be having Coach Bobby Kennedy each and every week on this show, which we are very excited about. Whether we'll begin this week or next, we're working on getting that kind of sorted out. But
he's a little busy. You know?
Coach Kennedy has committed and agreed to be on with us and just talk about anything. Certainly football. Yes, would be first and foremost on the list. But to be able to just chat with him in sort of a longer form thing like this is going to be really great. Obviously, from a conversational standpoint, he's a guy that I think everybody wants to hear from as much as they can. So we're very excited to be able to have him on and look forward to bringing Coach Kennedy to you each and every week here on this show.
And when it comes to just the equity of the rivalry that we always try to promote as well, we will also have Brett Vegan on as a guest one-on-one as well. Sometimes Ryan will participate in that interview. Sometimes it will just be myself and Coach Vegan. But either way, we'll have and the way this will work is we're going to kind of put a puzzle together. I think my main plan is to have the Bobby Kennedy conversation in its totality here on Nuanez, or on Tootell Nuanez in the mornings, and the Brett Vegan conversation in its totality on Nuanez now, but certainly part of the Brett Vegan conversation here on Tootell Nuanez as well. So we'll have those available for you on both our morning and our evening shows, as well as on other podcast platforms and stuff like that as well. So I'm very much looking forward to having the head guys for both sides of the rivalry on our radio airwaves every single week.
Absolutely, and I should certainly acknowledge Coach Vegan has been very generous with his time since he's been the head coach at Montana State, and as has Coach Kennedy since he's been the head coach at the University of Montana. So this is the first season though where we've been able to have both in that capacity. So it's great to be able to do that.
Have you noticed that? To me, I think it's pretty clear that Bobby Kennedy has either done some self-scouting or is just getting more comfortable and better at it. He is obviously a very engaging and funny guy. But when he first was the head coach, a little long-winded, a little rambling in the answers. Sometimes was saying a little bit too much stuff or trying to be a little bit too funny. He's become much more concise. Even though his press conference yesterday was 25 minutes long, he was pretty to the point. And like his first couple right when he got hired, like he came in there, like his first opening statement right before spring ball during a press conference was like 17 minutes long.
Totally.
And to be fair, it wasn't just an opening statement. It was like a dissertation of basically him just saying, here's my priorities, here's the position groups, all that stuff.
He was entitled to every one of those 17 minutes.
No doubt. Yeah. But it is interesting because he has become a little bit more concise. I think that's partially just because he's getting more comfortable in the role.
When you're a lifer in something and then you get the position that you've kind of worked towards for your whole career, it's not just about, like, you've thought about, well, what would my first press conference feel like? Right. Well, what would my first radio or television interview feel like? What would my first training camp, spring ball, all of that stuff, And so that's been a vision for 25, 30 years, right? Gotta be.
This is so funny because I remember way back, this is, eons ago, but playing high school football for the great Gary Eckergen.
Yeah.
And my senior year, Big Sky, we were pretty good. But we had several Division I guys. The Palmer twins were Division I guys. Ryan Schmidt was a Division I guy. So we had some dudes that were, of interest to the local.
Legitimate players,
to the local TV markets or whatever. And I remember, we had it rolling a little bit, and Tom Kotz, who was at K-Pax at the time, he would come to practice like once a week. And me and the other linemen would always be like, well, we know he's going to get Ty Palmer. We know he's going to get Jace Palmer. Carter McGrath's going to get an interview. He's like the record-setting running back. So one of these days, they're going to have to pick a lineman. And what are we going to –
how's that?
Who's going to go?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the guy?
Yeah.
And then what are we going to say?
Yeah.
And I was like, we should just do it together. Like, we should all just, have something ready to go. And then the one time they picked us, of course, I said – and Tom's like, no, we got to have one. And I was like, no, we got to all do it together. And we all did it together. It was a big mess. And it was – because we all had these lines that we thought we were going to give.
The standard deal now, though, is that the linemen are the best interviews.
Oh, no, right. Totally.
That said, you're never going to do better than the Palmer twins. And I think we got to get those boys in here because you and I could just shut it right down and be like, hey, you guys take over. You know what I mean?
Tell me remember when stories. Go. Yeah. An hour of totally.
Maybe it should be a podcast. I think that's what we should do there. It is Tootell Nuanez, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Okay, listen. In the last segment, we told you who's going to be better in the NFL. Well, I did. Coulter agrees with me, though, because he knows that I'm right. Let's talk about who's going to be worse. Okay. I'm going to start right at the top, almost the top, the defending AFC champion New England Patriots.
Yeah. It's the obvious, easy answer.
The Patriots The Patriots are good. This is the ironic thing about teams getting worse. I don't think the Patriots are going to be a worse team by talent, by skill. I think they're better. They got A.J. Brown. They got year 3 of Drake May.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be better. They are going to have a tumult of a schedule to get through.
Yeah.
They have had, as we know, some off-season trials and tribulations.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Hard to say what effect is that going to have on the field, but I don't think it's a zero.
Well, here's the effect it's going to have on the field, is that it won't have an effect on the field, but if there is down play, like if the Patriots are in fact struggling, there will be reporters at every single press conference that Mike Vrabel conducts this year that are explicitly there to ask him questions about Diana Rossini.
Yeah.
Period. Those questions can be deflected and denied when you're winning games. As soon as you're not winning games, you can still deflect and deny, but the story then is going to become Vrabel deflected and denied, but this is clearly affecting the on the field. Even if it's not affecting on the field, that will be a story that's fabricated by the media. There's no question.
I'll tell you what will affect on the field: the Buffalo Bills, who were 12-5, very good season last year. But obviously, the Patriots won the division at 14-3, and that's another reason why this is low-hanging fruit, because it's just hard to be a 14-win team.
We've only seen this one other time in the history of the NFL where a team went from 3-14 to 14-3.
Yeah,
like you're going to regress to the mean, like you're saying. Even if you're still pretty good, you're still going to regress to the mean, even if you go 11-6 or whatever.
And I should have clarified this too. When I say teams are going to be better or worse, I'm not talking about a game. These are not teams. Like, of course, you can fluctuate a game or two. I think the New England Patriots are going to be a 10-win team this year. Yep. I think they're going to go to the postseason as a wild card team.
Yep.
But I think they're going to be a significant. I think they're going to be 2 games out at a minimum in their division, and I think that they are going to be noticeably less than, certainly by record, than they were a year ago.
Their over-under win total is set at 10.5, as is the Bills. Brooks Nuanez and I, on our All Football at the time, guess the line segment, we took the over for the Bills and the under for the Patriots. So it sounds like you're pretty aligned with that.
Okay.
You think 10.5, you're going under?
I would go, I think 10.5 is the right number.
Yeah.
If you got to put my feet to the fire, I'll go under on account of the strength of schedule, which is a very, very difficult one. I'm going to go, though, a different way with you. I'm going to go a team that was bad last year that's just going to straight nosedive this year. And that is the Miami Dolphins, who were
aren't they already bad
7-10, got their coach fired, shipped off every good player they had outside of Devon Achane, and now the cupboards are all the way empty.
Yes.
Okay?
And they're hitching their wagon to a guy that's shown like 2 games worth of potential, maybe. In Malik Willis, yeah.
The good thing that the Dolphins have done, I think, is go ahead and get Jeff Hafley to be their head coach. And as a Packer fan, I saw what he did to revolutionize the defense of the Green Bay Packers, and I just also think he has that presence and that ability to be a head coach. But in the NFL, it is about the players, buddy, and there's none. To speak of in Miami. This is a 3 or 4 win football team. I mean, generously to me this season.
It also just doesn't help that the guy that's supposed to be your best player is completely delayed in his rehab, and it might not ever come back with Tyreek Hill. I mean,
well, Tyreek Hill is perhaps career over, but
what he was
that's not happening. Yeah. So I got Miami on that list for sure. The other 2 teams that I put in here, just for what it's worth. And I'm coming off of it a little bit with the Denver Broncos because I think the Broncos are really good, and I think they have a division that they can win. But they did win 14 games last year. I don't think they're going to win 14 again. But it is, again, I think it's almost semantics to say they're not going to be as good. That feels to me outside of what I'm going for. I don't think they're going to win 14 games this year, but they are a fantastic football team, and they are going to be really good again.
In the new NFL. And this is something that the national media does not purport because the storytelling behind the National Football League is almost exclusively centered upon the quarterbacks and the head coaches.
Yeah.
They actually don't really necessarily want you to know all the in-depth about all the rest of the guys because they want them to be expendable. They want the fans to love the teams and the quarterbacks. That's what they want. In the new NFL, it used to be that if you have one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. That still is a huge advantage. But the number one advantage you can have in the NFL right now is if you have a top 5 offensive line, a top 5 defense, and a top 5 coach. There's only a couple teams in the entire NFL that have all 3 of those things.
Yeah.
The Broncos are one of them.
Yeah.
They have the best offensive line in the league. They have one of the 3 best defenses in the league. And you can say whatever you want about Sean Payton. He's egotistical. He's annoying. The guy wins games, man.
No
He's got a Super Bowl ring, and you have the stat in here. They were 13-2 in 1-score games. Why? Because Sean Payton's their head coach.
And this is the thing. That's the number one reason why you would think of a regression for this team, because you're just not going to go 13-2 in 1-score games.
Yes.
And even with Sean Payton, they're not going to go 13-2 in 1-score games.
Totally.
But it isn't on accident that they did. And they,
for sure.
First of all, I don't think they're going to play 15 1-score games this year. I think they're going to have 5 games that are double score type of victories or more. But in the 1-score games, I still think they're going to be better than 500,
Sure.
And 13-2, that's a big number. But, if you go 7-3 in 1-score games, you're still going to have a great season. So I'm there on the Denver Broncos. Hey, we're a little bit up against it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. How about a little bit of Blindside? Can we revive this
Can't
thing?
Wait.
Okay.
I got a good one for you.
I got some questions for Coulter. He doesn't know they're coming. He's got a good one for me. I can't wait to hear what it is. Is it how to bandage a wound in real time? Is that what you're going to ask me about? It is Tootell Nuanez. Hey, listen. You don't think about locks, keys, that stuff maybe all that much, but when you need it, it's an emergency, and you got to go to Art and Ray's Lock and Safe. Missoula's trusted since 1941. Art and Ray's Lock and Safe. Emergency lockouts, safes, access control, and Medeco unpickable locks. You need something that is absolutely safe and secure? That's where you go, Art and Ray's. If it locks, they can handle it. Call Art and Ray's today and find them on South Avenue. Blindside next.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the uniquely designed and well-equipped 2024 Buick Encore GX with models starting at $28,895. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to demorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Encores and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Equal housing lender. If it matters to Missoula, it matters to us. Ryan Tootell and Tootell Nuanez on 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. Tootell Nuanez. Rolling you into your Tuesday mid-morning. Coulter, what time do you go to sleep?
Well, it's a good question. I used to never go to sleep before midnight, and then in my married/dad life, I go to sleep about 9:30. But now that we're into this and we have all these different pursuits, it's been more like 11:30 the last 3 nights.
I know this is only the second day, okay? But I got up, 6 whatever yesterday morning, and I assumed getting up at such an ungodly hour that I would be able to go to sleep, but my body it doesn't do it. I'm tired. I'm in bed. I was in bed at 10:30. I saw 1.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
So something's going to have to change, okay? And I think what needs to change is this show's moving to noon. What do you think about that?
You're telling our boss.
I just did.
Hayden and I are not involved in that one.
No, I'm going to continue to do this. This is for the people, my labor of love, to get up and get out for all of you. It's a struggle, and to all my brothers and sisters who are night owls who are not listening to this right now, but will pick it up on the podcast, I'm with you, okay? And I'm doing this for you too. Coulter, can we do a little blindside?
Of course.
All right. Blindside's a game we've played for years around here, and get to do it again. I know that it sounds like we don't prep, but we prep vigorously for this show. But this one, well, there is lots of prep involved, in fact, but we haven't shared the preparation with each other. I've got a question for Coulter. He's got a question for me. It could be about any variety of things. I did more NFL stuff, although I got a little FCS. We'll see what we got time for, which is not a lot. Go ahead, Coulter. You tell me, what's your blind side?
This is very straightforward.
Okay.
Is this a make or break year for Justin Herbert?
It's a great question. What does break mean?
Well, so Herbert, Herbert is one of the most interesting case studies in the NFL because there's a variety of different types of people that cover the NFL. There's the people that played in the NFL or coached in the NFL or were executives in the NFL that have a direct connection to the league.
Yeah.
Then there's the traditional reporters like me, but then there's also like the analytics nerds. The people that study like all of the ins and outs of the war and the analytics and stuff like that, they say Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the world. But then the people that are connected to the league or the people like us say, well, Herbert's pretty good, but he can't win a playoff game. The fact is, though, he's the third betting favorite for the MVP, which I think is higher than I would think that he would be. But he gets talked about in the same realm as Mahomes and Josh Allen.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
Well, that's my question. To me, when you look at Justin Herbert and you look at his physical talent, plus the roster that he has around him in Los Angeles, plus the coach that he has, if you have that talent and that roster and that coach, you have to be better than what the Chargers have been, even though they did make the playoffs a year ago.
I totally agree. You asked me a straightforward question. My straightforward answer is no. This is not a make or break season for Justin Herbert. The reason the answer is no is because he is a good enough quarterback that even if it's a bad season, he is not going to shoulder most or at least all of the blame. Sure. Unless he shows up and is actually bad, which I don't think you or I think is going to happen.
No.
The Chargers could be bad. The Chargers could totally underperform. And then it's a lot of finger pointing like, who is it? Is it Harbaugh? Is it McDaniels? Is it Herbert? Is it all of them? But if the Chargers somehow won 5 or 6 games, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's say they have a really bad year.
Yeah.
Is Justin Herbert not going to be the quarterback of the Chargers in 27? No, he's going to be. So in that sense, it's not a make or break year. It's just, with that being said, I do think the expectations and the spotlight is higher and hotter than it has ever been for Justin Herbert in this season. So I think the pressure is greater than it's ever been because I think, to your point, everything's in place. Yeah. You got the OC, you got the weapons, you got the head coach.
You got both your stud tackles back.
Go do it.
I mean, the thing that held them back so much last year was they paid Rashawn Slater to be the highest paid offensive tackle in the league, and then he tears his ACL. They moved Joe Alt to the other side to protect Justin Herbert's backside, and then he gets hurt, and all of a sudden Herbert's supposed to have the best tackle pair in the NFL, and both of those guys are out.
Okay, here we go. Here's my blind side. We only got like 60 seconds.
Yep.
Very straightforward. Who's going to start more games, Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza?
If the Raiders were smart, Kirk Cousins would start every single game of this season.
Do you think they're smart?
I do not.
Okay.
I think that Kirk Cousins, speaking of nerd analytics, he lost massive velocity on his throws down the stretch last year, and that was something the nerds were talking about a ton.
He's also was injured and then came back, and then it was a little. I mean, he won his last 5 games, right?
Atlanta did make a late push towards the playoffs. I just think Kirk Cousins' best days are behind him, but I also think if the Raiders were to stay with him, that would be best for their franchise.
Answer the question.
I think that Kirk Cousins will start more games than Mendoza.
Okay.
But I do think they panic late and start Mendoza down the stretch.
Well, will it be panicking if they're already out of the playoffs and they want to get their guy in? I don't know. Maybe not. It's football season, man. This is a thrill. It is Tootell Nuanez. It's 102.9 ESPN Radio. It's a Tuesday that's in the books. It's going to be 93 degrees today, hottest day in Missoula of the week. Get one last river ride in before school starts tomorrow, boys and girls, okay? Very happy for all the kids. Well, maybe I'm sad for the kids. I'm happy for the parents. Is that how it goes? We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's ESPN Radio.